All right. Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome into NFT Live again on a Tuesday. We're going up with Jessica Yatrofsky in just a second. In the meantime, I have to put up with Gift Ed apparently. So I've got my handy dandy, trusted sidekick here, Gift Ed partner in crime, whatever you want to call it. We just got off a fresh GM Web3 morning show talking about Nakamigos. Unfortunately, we will catch you in at that price action that's happening there, as well as the price action on Doge. We got a bunch of stuff to cover here today. How are you doing, Gif?
I'm pretty good. Can you hear me? Check 1 2 1 2. Yeah, we good. All right. You know what? I'm glad to be handy dandy any day for you, my guy. Yeah, it's a good day, right? Happy to be here. I feel like it's a little bit of a slow news day. We're kind of still talking about like things that were popping off yesterday, in large part, and then covering some of the exciting things happening with ZK EVM, talking a little bit about this Arbitrum fiasco. But yeah, man, I'm stoked to be here with you. Excited to chat with Jess and all y'all hanging out with us out there wherever you are. Blessed to be here.
All right, I see you guys filling in chat. We just pressed live here. Obviously, we're here every day, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. We appreciate it that you join here early and that you get a like potentially on today's episode. I also have the NFT live tweet for the day. We can't get that. We can't not have that going. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm getting this here. So here is the NFT live link for the day. So a couple topics. Again, we have Jay Yacht joining us here in just a second. We're going to touch on XXGen. We're going to touch on Room 707. There's a lot of things going on. She has a collector's shop apparently that's launching pretty soon. We're also going to touch on Gucci and the other side. Some details dropped about those codependents. Haha. Haha. Nakamigos continue their ride. Again, Doge on Twitter. Twitter algo. So you can see a difference in this tweet here. Gifted, can you catch the difference on how I changed up our tweets based on the Twitter algorithm? I spelled everything right. You're muted. You're full mute.
Yeah, you put the link below, and you're actually working on your grammar and your spelling, which is, you know what, it had to happen.
Part is not true.
He wasn't listening to me, fam. I've been trying to get him to spell properly for ages. As long as I've known the guy, I've been trying to get him to spell good. This is what it takes, apparently. I'll also say this. I'm actually very excited. I didn't know if like the switching the Twitter logo to the Doge logo was just going to be like a stunt for like 12 hours or something.
Nope, it's here.
It's here. Like, I mean, you wake up today and Twitter is still Doge. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the price is holding pretty well as well. Let me bring this up. So we got 90,
just under 10.
Yeah, almost 0.96 basically, almost under 10 cents, which is kind of where it was sitting as we got off the air yesterday. We caught the initial pump. If you guys were here with us, you can see this pump. Look, it's almost on that 24-hour scale, probably like 30 minutes into the episode. We were able to catch that. So that was a fun time to be had. The other thing we touched on yesterday, which I followed up on here, I got a tweet out here this morning. Interesting question floated on NFT Live yesterday. Who is your NFT Mount Rushmore? I sat there and thought about it. I put together all the people I thought, over the course of the past 3 or 4 years that have contributed to the NFT space, and I came up with this list again of 4 people. No 6, no 8, no 10. We had to go with 4, and I went with Josie Bellini, Jimmy.eth, Yatsu, and Crypto Garga and Gordon Goner together as the founders there of Yuga Labs. So what do you think?
I think it's pretty solid, man. It's a challenge to get it down to 4. And then, I was thinking about this during our show today because we were talking a lot about the meme cards by Punk6529 and, Elon tweeting out the seize the memes of production, one of those pieces of art, that's another just crazy thing. Apparently he deleted the tweet though. So I don't know what's up with that, but like Punk6529 is definitely a massively influential and important figure in the space. But again, like the fact that he's a I think disqualifies him from a Mount Rushmore, right? It's like, first of all, we don't even know what your real face looks like. And this isn't about the IP or the NFTs. This is about the people that are actually out there putting themselves out there risking it all to build the space. That's how I see it, right? It's like
Okay.
these are about like who are the real people, the faces that are out there on the front lines that have been there doing the work. Again, risking it all in this wild west. And yeah, so that's why it's like somebody like a Punk 6529 could be a great addition, but I think he's disqualified just because he's by nature of being anonymous for this specific,
Yeah.
display.
And Sarah's saying, who's to say he's a he, right? And
I'm his voice is doxed. So yeah, I mean, you're right. Maybe there's a voice changing thing, but like, I'm pretty sure there's been a lot of times where he's called in, used his PFP, done interviews. I think it's a he.
And
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It's
I
fair
always
question.
come up with a Satoshi response to you when you talk about anons, but I think almost I'm siding with you here more often now. I think you've pulled me over to your thought process here, but like Satoshi's almost the outlier, right? The creator of Bitcoin is almost the outlier, not the rule when it comes to this stuff. Because again, he created something, or she created something, or a group created something, and they're a non.
Well, and that's also more Web3 crypto than NFTs. This was an NFT Mount Rushmore, right?
Yeah, 100%. But the idea that you're using a doxed individuals as saying you can only be on the Mount Rushmore if that's not something that you would then put over to a Web3 Mount Rushmore.
Look, I just think this is my personal take on the concept of like applying a Mount Rushmore to something is that like we're talking about people. We're not talking about the IP or the PFPs or the projects or the companies even. We're talking about people. Who are the standout individuals in the space?
Yeah, how can you?
To me, you cannot put somebody on the highest pedestal as like these are the ultimate best people if you don't even know their face. And it's just like it's not to saying that they don't have a tremendous impact.
Yeah.
But it's a different thing. It's a different dynamic. You are literally putting yourself, your face, your own personal everything on the line when you're out front leading this thing. And also, again, it's like we're not putting the punks on there. We're putting people's faces. We're respecting the people that have forged this thing. Okay. So to me, it's like at least specific to the concept of a Mount Rushmore, you have to be doxed. You have to know who these people are to put them on that kind of pedestal and actually have more context for. Because again, if you're a non, you could be anyone and you could be doing other shit too, which again, that's the other risk of it. It's not just not knowing what they look like. So how do you chisel their face into a fucking mountain? It's like they could also be total pieces of shit as well as being very influential.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, so Prodigy is here. He says, OVOT, what is up? He said, yeah, I meant people who stand out, who has done the most, who has put out a product that helps shape the space. So your question has gone far and wide here, Prodigy. Good to see you here early. Quantum Variant saying, can we do the other side of Mount Rushmore, the 4 biggest asses of NFTs? I love that. I wonder if we can't get into that today as well. Maybe we can fit that in, or maybe we can get to that on Thursday when GiftEd is back. GiftEd is leaving the show forever for the next 24 hours. So it's
forever for a day. Absolutely.
So are you tuning in like on the road? Is that basically what's happening? You're going to be in Toronto. You're going to tune in. So you're basically going to have your setup on Thursday in Toronto.
Correct. I'm taking my stuff with me. Yeah. That's it. I run this show off of a fucking laptop. I don't know if you knew that, but like, yeah, that's it. I'm taking my laptop, taking my mic and my cam, and we're going to be doing it live from Toronto.
It's Saturday night.
Yeah, man. I've never been to Toronto. I'm excited. If y'all know anybody in Toronto, I'm going to be up there for a week or two. I want to host like, a family dinner. I want to host some dinners or something for people, link up with cool people. So if y'all know anybody in Toronto who's in the Web3 space who I should meet up with, please let me know, because I'm leaving tomorrow. I'll be up there for a week or two, and yeah, it'd be great to meet some new people while I'm there.
Love to see it. All right, we are squarely in quick hits right now. We're going to start off the episode. Again, we have Jay Yacht here that is that is going to come up here in just a moment. We're going to talk room 707. We're going to talk about XX Gen, which is almost minted out. It's like this freaking close to minting out there on OpenSea. So we definitely want to highlight, obviously, a great person in our community as well, a great female content creator and artist. It's always awesome to get her on NFT Live. She better have a hat, though. Again, backwards hat is going to be what she needs to get in the door. Anyways, we are getting to the markets. We're getting to quick hits. GIF, I know you had some things specifically on Arbitrum. I want to get a little heated here. You had some topics. So you had Arbitrum. You had ZK EVMs. Maybe we could touch on that as well here. But we have Elon and Twitter. We have Nakamigos that I want to get into, because basically, speaking of a non-folks in the space, Nakamigos has been the talk of the town for the last, I would say, 72 hours, maybe a week time span. People calling them to 10 ETH, people calling them to 1 ETH, people calling them to 1 ETH so that he can create a series. Of course, you know that's 100% organic. Okay. I'm that's getting a little tired. I'll get off that train. But we do again have Nakamigos basically taking up the volume. I'm sure they're the number one, if not number 2 or 3 most traded collection at this moment. Again, at this moment, we're sitting at 0.499. So I do want to pose this to the chat as well. The first question I would ask is, are you buying Nakamigos here at 0.5? I know the question was, can they become a blue chip? I think that's kind of a facetious, kind of just like throwing a topic out to get the most kind of interest. I would never even put them close to being, in that pendulum or that pantheon there. But would you consider buying them at 0.5?
I am not considering buying at 0.5. I need them to drop below 0.3 for me to feel good about it right now. And that's just me. And again, I've been wrong about this project once so far, because we were talking about it like, I did catch it early. Like, we do the NFT GO Bag Check almost every day. So I see when things are popping off. Shout out NFT Go. So we saw it around like 0.2, like when it first minted. And I just felt like the supply was so high for right now that I didn't think it could keep running that far from there. But I was wrong about that. Obviously, it caught on. It got some organic, quote unquote organic, what seems to be relatively organic support. A bunch of influencers started jumping into it. I'm not gonna lie, I get why they do it. The whole honorary Nakamigo thing, where they create like a Nakamigo for all these influencers and then airdrop it to them, and then I get why they do it. Yeah,
is like all being checked off here with Nakamigos.
Exactly. Yeah, like I get why they do that. It is marketing, you know what I mean? It's influencer marketing, and they're trying to get hype that way. But that, Q, you've been talking about like the red flags that you've been seeing as you see these sort of like checks going down. That's one that kind of stood out to me, is just like, I kind of hate it. I hate it. I feel like we've seen that a million times on rugs. You know what I mean? Like get the influencer buy-in and hype by whatever means necessary. And so,
regardless if you think like Nakamigos is going to go up, if you think they're a scam and they're going to go to zero, like they've provided a lot of interest, over the last week. Yeah, the NFT space can often, I think, get super dramatized and feel like a high school sometimes, where you got people saying, oh, this, that, and then you have people on the other side. I was firmly on, the argument that this was kind of checking, again, all the boxes of it being a Pumponomics project. You didn't hear about it, and then it came out of nowhere. They said that they were associated with Larva Labs. They did the Beeple thing, which I want to pull up. He had a tweet in the last 30 minutes addressing this. Like, it got so big that he's now addressed this situation even further with Nakamigos, and him saying, hey, pump this to 1 ETH and I'll do a series. But also dropping NFTs to influencers. I don't know which ones you mentioned, but I can assume it was like the Aoki, etc.
Yeah, that got Betty, Aoki, but then a lot of the other sort of usual suspects that you would imagine. But they didn't do a Squash Amigo. You didn't get Josh the Squash Man on, so they definitely didn't hit all the big names.
You're not there yet, Squash. Keep grinding. You're not there yet, but
Should be.
And then the last, I need to preface this, and I do want to jump into this Beeple tweet, like I was saying, but I'm not hating on Nakamigos. Like I truly, I do not wish them any ill will. I'm talking about my investment thesis when it comes to jumping into these type of projects, and when I'm looking at this stuff, I'm just viewing them from a collector and an investor standpoint, quote unquote investor, but I'm not that big into pixelated art, so that kind of first thing out the window. But when it comes to trying to see if I want to ride this train, I have to deduce my own findings, and I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm not saying Nakamigos, like I wish they died. I hope they go to zero. Like that's not what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people like somehow get into this tribalistic feeling about their projects, but I'm not attacking them. I'm just kind of stating my thoughts. Anyways, Gif, FUD. Grab the pitchforks. So here's Beeple's tweet. I've made everydays, and this is along your lines. Yesterday, Gift Ed, of you saying about everydays. I've made everydays about CryptoPunks, apes, squiggles, pudgy penguins, moonbirds, goblin sound checks, and yes, Nakamigos. I have never had any financial incentive to make any of these works. The everydays are a record of what happens in the world, and I do not endorse these projects any more than a court artist endorses the person on trial they are drawing. The idea that I would risk destroying my reputation for a tiny short-term gain on these things is ridiculous. I am 20 years into my digital art career, not going to throw that away for a few dollars, especially now.
I mean, it's what I said. He's his entire career has been newsjacking and commenting through art, daily creations on whatever's popping off. It's how he became a big artist. It's how he became famous, man. So I don't know.
It was the one ETH call. It wasn't the everyday.
It is the one ETH call, but like, I think he's just having fun.
Yeah.
But it does get. This is where it starts to get hairy when you do have actual influence, when you are a big name in the space and people look to you, and then you're playing with what are they're collectibles, but a lot of people treat them as financial instruments.
Yep.
And it's also a great time for us to throw this in here. This is not financial advice, and information was found publicly on the internet. Opinions shared on this episode are solely of the Web3 team. All information is public domain, so please DYOR, do your own research, fam. We're going to keep saying that over and over because
until you guys get it.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is where it starts to get hairy, right? Is when you are talking about money and there's a lot of money on the line, and there's all sorts of lawsuits now happening. The SEC has been suing influencers who didn't disclose things. I don't think he's affiliated with any of these projects. I think he's just having fun with it, kind of like Elon changing the Twitter logo to fucking Doge. But even Elon is under serious scrutiny. Like Elon's getting sued left, right, and center for all kinds of stuff right now. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. So Marty, I think when this first stuff came out, and I think I saw a couple of Marty's tweets as well, and I think we aligned on it. It's Marty McFly saying, "Did he not try and pump Nakata specifically to 1 ETH? I'm not a fan personally." I think we're coming to an agreement a little bit here. Both groups. I don't think he's like necessarily involved with the project. It's just. It was a little shady. And again, people being a stand-up person in the space, that's what Quantum Variant's saying. I never met the guy, so maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But yeah. So Nakamigos today, you're like bullish on this. You're like, I know you said you wouldn't buy a 0.5. Are we bullish on Nakamigos? Because to me, the thesis is still, not there for them, and they're still like somehow bumping off vibes.
They're in a very interesting spot right now. I would call it precarious because they're at a point where they could either go on to be massively successful long term and be a big IP, or some shit could come out about who the team really is. Like something could go sideways and this thing could fucking dump and become, forgotten in a couple weeks. So like they're in that really interesting chasm. They're kind of crossing the chasm right now, right? It's like they've done enough that they could, if they can figure out how to keep some kind of momentum and not fuck it up, be a massively successful product. It's already been very successful just in on several different metrics, right? But it's like, will they stand the test of time? will they go on to stand the test of time and be? That was horrifying. That was,
Jess looks like a Nakamigo.
I thought we were being hijacked by a terrorist group. Like that was, I was like, oh shit, they got the levers to control. No, they're in a precarious position because it's like one really foul move, I feel like could still derail them where they're at. They're still in like that sort of early nascent spot where, again, less than 30% unique ownership. So I think it's in a very precarious spot, but I do believe it has a lot of potential based upon what it's already been able to accomplish. And the unique ownership part is actually really interesting to me because 30% ownership is like this very interesting number that a lot of collections get to, that is like, it's good, but it's not great. And you really have to get up to that sort of like 40%, 50% ownership level to really establish yourself longer term. But then the caveat to that is that because this is 20K supply, like 29, 30% is actually like 5,000, 6,000 collectors already. So they already have like actually a bigger collector base than a lot of 10K projects. So I don't know. It's a very interesting one to me. I think it's precarious. I'm watching it. I want to if I'm going to buy in, I need to see it below 0.3, closer to 0.2.
I have so many questions about Nakamigos, but Sarah Script was just asking when Jay Yacht, and we just got her.
We got
Ladies and gentlemen, we got her.
We got
Jessica
her.
Yatrofsky is in the NFT Live studio, dressed as a Nakamigo, a pirate. What? Just an NFT.
I don't know
co-host?
who Jay Yacht is. I've never heard.
Frank God, is that you?
Is that a female artist? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Slightly muffled, but yes.
Yeah, I don't know who Jay Yacht is. It sounds like a woman though, so I'm like not into that. I'm like into, what I'm promoting today.
What are you promoting today?
Yeah, that I have. Apparently, I forgot to take this down. I have therapy at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
I was gonna say you missed it.
I thought this was it. I thought this was our therapy sesh. I thought you were right on time.
Yeah, I'm just like here representing,
Sarah Script said, "I'm screaming." We Prodigy saying Jess has done and lost it. Quantum Variants asking if we're being robbed.
Would any of these questions be asked to a founder of a 10K project? I don't think so.
It's fair.
Yeah.
You almost look like a doodle though. Doesn't the doodle have that fucking like bandana thing? Yeah. I don't know. Looking dope though. Definitely looking like a PFP bro who isn't into girls at all. Yeah, no girls allowed in this clubhouse. Yeah.
I'm trying to invite some people right now, so forgive me.
No, you're good.
All good.
Sarah Script has a guess here that you're Frank the Gods, and she has questions about Utes.
Well, I don't know who that is at all, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this off. Yeah, but I am repping though. I'm sweating now, which is awesome. Whew, that's what this is for,
Yeah. Well, the backwards hat is the most important part of the uniform here. Mm-hmm. So glad you got the memo.
This can you read what this says though?
No.
It says strong woman. And this is by an artist who's a very talented writer, poet, artist. Goes by the artist. Her name's Alyssa. You should look her up. And the front of it says, "Sad girl." Yeah.
I like the front-facing way. Yeah, I like that. Hey, a lot of fans in chat want to hear about what you have going on. They're obviously here to support you. Sarah was already asking about when Jay Yacht. So apparently, Gifted, we're just chop liver up here when Jay Yacht's on. So we have XX Gen. We have Room 707. We have a lot of things to get to today. Jessica, my headphones just came out. But before we do get to that, I want to get your take on Nakamigos. We were just talking about Nakamigos as you kind of came in to rob us. So your thoughts on Nakamigos?
No. So if you got in at 0.01, you know how I like the zeros before the numbers. Like you're doing great in the space. If you got in after, I'm so sorry. Like don't do that. Also, just like buy when it's cheap, sell when it's high. That's totally original advice.
No, that's the best advice you could give on any project. I mean,
I hate when you pull the artwork up because it just makes me like just angry.
That reaction is what
the
we
fact
needed.
that I even like called it artwork. I guess the cool thing about it is that all the backgrounds are blue. Is that what
I'm
we're
trying to pull it up?
Is that what we're hanging on here?
Blue's a nice color. Yeah.
It's a lovely color. When there's art.
Looks like I'm playing RuneScape.
Oh, it does look like a video game, right? Like from like when I was a little girl.
That's the style. Yeah.
I mean,
so not a fan of the art. Not
no,
clearly.
I mean it's cute. If someone were to give it to me for free, I'd be like, oh, that's cute. But like I said on the show earlier this morning, like I will wait. If I see anything in there that looks like me or that's like, has a rainbow on it or like a cool little like blonde wig or something like that, I will pick one up when they go to 0 and then wait a few years for them to pump again. And then I'll just like, flex my PFP, but that's about it. Like we're just having fun here. Like I'm an artist. I make art. Like, and I sell it, and then I
collect. You're a collector.
Yeah, I collect things, but you know what I collect? Like, has anyone ever asked me what I collect?
Love.
I collect now. I think I collect a lot of hate actually lately. No, I collect things that are cute. Like I'm very into like anything that feels like cats, Hello Kitty-esque. So I don't care if it's moving or not. Like I'm just collecting it because I want my wallet to represent, like the Beanie Babies of my life that I love, and of course collect fellow artists that I love, right? So that's what it's about. Because like I've told you guys time and time again, I know this is like an international audience. I live in New York City. Taxes are wild here. Capital gains. I am not a degen no more. I do not flip anymore. It is wild to pay taxes. So I'm just going to diamond hands everything. And then I'm going to like floor stuff for tax purposes for next year. Yep.
That's actually awesome. That's actually like, yeah, you want to survive? Yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, think about how a lot of us were onboarded as artists specifically, back on the Clubhouse days. Like, I think I was many months behind jumping on all the PFP projects. So I was like, oh, wow, I'm meeting so many artists from all around the world. I'm collecting their work. I hadn't put any projects out right away. I was just kind of discovering the space and learning about NFTs. And then I put a Genesis piece out. And then after that, I was like, oh, you can like flip, like you can do stock trading in this space. And then I did that for a while. And then I was like, I'm literally attached to my computer day and night. I can't touch grass. I've lost sense of self. I need to be put in a rehabilitation center. So that's when I kind of like backed off. And that wasn't too long ago, you guys. So like, be careful out there, be careful.
That degen rabbit hole, when you first get that itch, it's kind of like when first hit of crack, that first hit of meth, or like when you go and you get your first big win at a casino, you're just like, oof.
Yeah, I lived in Vegas. That's why I was like, look around, wake up, wake up.
Hey, last question related to Nakamigos, and then I do want to get to where XXGen is at today, because it's like really this close to minting out, and I can't wait for that moment. As far as the non-founders, does that throw you off? Does that throw you through a loop as well? Like,
yes,
are you?
I hate it. Like what you were saying before, the Mount Rushmore. It's like they don't have any faces. You're just gonna chisel question marks. Yeah, I don't understand that, because I think like we should be trading on integrity, and that should be like with our faces, your guys' faces, wherever you are on the screen. I think that makes the most sense. I mean, right? I don't know. People like that Riddler energy, and I don't like it. Unless I'm playing Clue with my friends at home, no, there's no mystery. Sorry, like no,
I like it analogizing the whole Web3 NFT space to just one big game of Clue. It's just one big fucking game of Clue.
And
You're
then
just
we're
trying to figure out
trading.
who's the founder.
We're trading on whether like the professor killed, so and so with the candlestick in the study.
Pure speculation around who's getting murdered next. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, if you want to take it that far, it's like it's going to murder your bags, and then you're going to go to zero. But anyways, on a brighter note, I'm glad to be here with you guys.
I'm glad to be here with you as well, Jessica, and I'm glad to be covering XXGen. We've been covering this. It is so close to midnight. We're at 510 out of 555 pieces.
Let's go.
Really excited. I want to get your whole kind of journey through when this first launched, because we had you on as the launch was kind of getting ready to go live. I know you've had issues with a ton of different platforms as well, but you're really doing well here on OpenSea. So, tell me about your journey since the last time, you were on with XXGen specifically.
Well, there's been a lot of support with the project, which I'm stoked about. And although there's no roadmap because this is art, I think that it's been kind of opening up opportunities for me to do some cool things to get people in the community. So, for example, I do have a Discord, but the Discord is for people that are holders of other projects of mine. And so I thought, hey, since so many people, because there's 550 pieces, were requesting a Discord, probably to go and complain about the floor price. But since so many of them were, I like to serve the trolls as well. I was like, oh, you know what? Why don't I move the timeline up? Because I had a platinum 707 key that was going to drop at some point during the years. Why don't I move it up and give these keys for free to people that had taken an interest in XXGen and launch them as the XXGen 707 555 platinum key? That's a long mouthful of a title. So now if you own an XXGen, there was a screenshot taken over the weekend. And then after the XXGenathon that we had Sunday night, we did another screenshot or snapshot. Sorry, Sarah. I'm boomerang out over here. It's really hot. Like that, this thing was so hot. Like you guys, like I turned myself up like to 95 degrees. God, those anons must be like run really hot or something, because to be covered like that all the time has got to be a lot of effort. But yeah, so I launched the 555 keys powered by Nifty Kit. For free. So if you have an XXGen now, there was another screenshot taken after the XX snapshot taken after the XXGenathon Sunday night. So you can go and redeem your key and get into 707, which is like, we could talk about that too. There's like a lot of cool things happening with that. And you see that collection is like verified. So like I'm actually a person, doxed fully. But yeah, I'm super excited about the keys and the community and bringing the XXGen collectors into the space. There's also going to be a collector shop opening up at Mint Out, so you can get 2 prints. Also, I know both of you are iHeart Girl owners, so those prints are going to be available too. So you can get 2 of those. You can get 2 of your XXGens. So it's going to be pretty cool. Mike said something that I don't know. It was like all in caps.
He said, wow, this is cool. I had no idea there was a whole other world off Twitter.
Yes.
We're here.
Yeah.
We out here. A couple quick follow-ups. What's the point of a Discord other than to complain about the floor? I don't know, actually. I think that's literally the whole reason Discord exists at this point.
I complain in my own Discord.
Yeah, just to feel something, right?
Yeah.
I think actually the whole reason why Frank DeGods did docs is because he was just getting too damn sweaty,
right?
With the mask. I think,
like my lower back is just collecting sweat right now.
Yeah, like literally, I think that's why Frank's had to docs. He just got frustrated with the face
amount of sweat products.
This was like ruining his makeup. His foundation was running.
Yeah, and
Old Spice.
have to congratulate you. Congratulate you. Jesus. I have to congratulate you on the XX Genathon. We know what it's like to run a big event like that on Twitter Spaces, and it seemed, I was able to hang out for the majority of it, and it was cool. It was fun, and you had a ton of awesome value and giveaways. Maybe just give a quick, brief update on or recap. What was the Genathon? How did that go?
Yeah, so the XX Genathon was a space that I held along with Sarah Script, who's in the chat right now, and Miranda and Jen Stein, and a bunch of women just came together to celebrate the minting of my project. But really, what we did was provided a space to bring awareness to the project, and also we gave out a ton of free NFTs a la giveaway of female creators and artists, which was really cool. And then I have another giveaway that's currently running right now. I'm just going to let it run through the end of the week. If you buy an XX Gen from Sunday during the XX Genathon to the end of this weekend, you're in the running to win a signed book from me and the first XX Genathon t-shirt, which I don't know. I don't think I have it up here, but it's on the tweets that you were just showing. Yeah, there. So you'll be winning, and I put a bunch of other goodies in there too. So yeah, that's stuff that's a high price. Well, the book is, because I think it's almost out of print. So yeah,
Which book? How many books do you have, Jess?
4.
Yeah. If y'all don't know, Jess is not just a phenomenally talented photographer and artist, and now established NFT artist, but she's been a poet and an author for a long time. 4 books. And speaking of signed books from Jessica Yatrofsky, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, we're gonna have to. There you go, signed right there by the one and only J Yacht. This is, of course, Golden Throne. Try and get the light just right on it. So you know what? This is one of my favorite things to do now, because I literally keep it right by my laptop here, just so that I can randomly.
You're gonna say your bedside.
By my bedside also. I take it with me everywhere I go. So one of my favorite things to do is open to a random page and read one of Jessica's poems.
Jess, do you actually not like when Gifted does this? Because
it makes me I get a little bit of agina every time, because you always open to the pages that I never read, so maybe that's a good thing
that is good. Yeah, I'm just trying to remind you of your own work here. So this one I just turned to page 153 in Golden Throne. It's titled LA Triggered.
Did you just turn to this, or did you actually pick it out?
No.
What page is this on?
153.
Oh, we'll read a random page. I want to be here.
LA Triggered. Here we go. Are you? I'm not. Sorry. Ever? PSA. Send your DMs elsewhere, or beware, and take your platitudes with you.
Yeah.
I'm really working on my Jessica Yatrofsky iconic cadence, you want
to have a read off?
I've seen you do your live performance now a couple times, so I feel like I'm actually getting pretty decent. Yeah, go ahead, Jess. Okay, if you want to read one.
Well, this one is great because these are 2 poems about LA. It's a little duet, a diptych, if you will. So the one next to it is LA Barbie Dream Louse. Car leases and ladies. Lazy. Good for everything, but not a one clear indication of what is it you do here? But there you go.
That one's great. I've seen you perform that one live, and I feel like you've really perfected that one. Yeah, that's a good one.
There's a New York rival one too, but I can never. I feel like it didn't get print. It didn't publish in this book, but it's fine.
Even though I know that you wrote these probably when we didn't even know each other and they have nothing to do with me, I'm going to take all of your LA poetry very personally and feel like they're personal attacks. Just so you
But
know.
I love LA. I have
in some
issues with
small
both
part.
coasts. Like I have problems here. Like the one that I wrote, writer producer NYC, and it starts off as "suck a bag of dicks." Like that's the beginning of that poem. So like there's no loyalty.
How big is the bag? How big is the bag you're imagining?
I don't know. I mean, like medium size.
Just average.
Yeah, just enough to get a mouthful.
Just a mid-sized bag of dicks.
Easy.
Bag.
I feel
you don't deserve big or small. You just get mids. Yeah.
All right,
Anyway.
Mike Mongo, before you started reading Gift Ed, said, "Oh gosh, I'm nervous." Marty said, "Read it." That was a Motorola Flip for sure. Not sure what that was about. Quantum Variant saying, "You need to slow down, GIF."
Oh yeah.
That's the issue.
Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, no, I'm trying to get better, so I appreciate that feedback a lot, actually.
Yeah, we got demonetized just now too.
For sure.
Money away.
Okay, so we actually had the giveaway tweet up. Let me see if I can find that again. I got all lost in my poetic thought process here, but
you haven't been to a reading yet, Q, have you?
I was there for the on stage at ETH Denver.
Oh yeah, where Gift read more of my reading.
That was fun.
That
was actually a really good time. I'm glad that you made that happen, Jess, because I didn't expect that. That was very like impromptu performance there. It was a lot of fun.
Said, "Why can't I see Mike Mongo's comments? It's because you blocked him, Sarah." I'm just kidding.
Unmute. You got to hit that unmute button.
It's true. It can be dangerous. So I linked the tweet for the giveaway. I want to show you guys off this one more time. This comes from Jessica's Twitter profile saying, "To win this XX t-shirt and iHeart Girl book, mint an XX here today and tomorrow. And number 2, share your XX in a tweet and tag J Yatrofsky on Twitter." We also had the collector shop. So this is what you were mentioning as well. Let me see if I can get in it. Why is this not working? All right, I'll try to figure that out. But tell me a little bit more about that collector shop.
Yeah, so the collector shop, shout out again to Nifty Kit. My shirt here. I'm going to wait till I put on camera again. Because I did a shop where it's gated. So if you are a token holder of iHeart Girl or XXGen, you can get into the shop. You can purchase two each of your prints. There's 2 separate sizes, so you can get both. You can get 1, you can get none, and you can also grab a signed book, which I said I'm running out of. So if you know anything about my first book, I Heart Boy, it's no longer, like, it doesn't exist. You have to get it on the secondary eBay. So I've actually bid on and won some of my first books. They were like pretty expensive and it was really annoying. But I'm not going to take that for granted again and make sure like I have a little stockpile of I Heart Girls, because the day will come one day where they are sold out. So I would say, like, buy an XX and you might get a book that won't exist anymore. And that sounds pretty rare to me. And then you'll get a nice t-shirt too, which we've been rocking around the house. And then some people were asking about them and I'm like, maybe people will like this. So yeah, who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Not me.
Look at us.
Not merch.
Look at us.
Yeah, look at us. Yeah,
I love this landing page. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think so right now you can get gold keys. So from this is obviously because we're talking on here. I don't know if people are going to watch this when there's a woman on, but if you were one of the lucky ones to stay on during me speaking, I will, for anybody who gets an XX from now through the end of the week, through mint out, actually, I'll send you a gold key because those are still available. So you get a gold key and you get a platinum key. But if you get the gold key, one thing you don't get with either of the keys is a copy of this book right here that you guys were both just reading from. So yeah, there's artwork in here. Let's see if we can get you guys banned from YouTube. Yep.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Jess, you've been the Room 707 thing. If people don't know, this is kind of like your own private exclusive club for different events and experiences that you're curating. And you've already done quite a few around the country. You did one in Denver at our Web3 Denver event at the MJ Mansion. You did one during NFT LA. I know you've done at least 2 in LA. Maybe tell us a little bit more about flying around the country and doing these performances and events.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, prior to the pandemic, I was traveling a lot with my first book. What should I have here? I should have had an iHeart Girl up here. Pink Privacy. So this book came out, I don't even know what year now, but I traveled around, and at the time, and I still have a collective called the New York Femme Factory. It's a feminist collective that's inclusive. Like, we've had men and all types of folks read during those readings. So I would host these live but private events where I would invite poets, spoken word artists, people that play music to come and gather together and just share what they're working on. And and just kind of like a little meet and greet. And so I've been hosting those like literally all over the world. And then now, since being in the NFT space, I thought, this would be really cool to get more people involved that are interested in poetry and some kind of like, alternative mediums that they don't know a lot about, and then also bring people together at the same time. So I've had at the few, conferences and meetups, some readings, and I'm not going to be doing a reading during NFT NYC. But I am going to be doing like a private meetup, just not a reading. So that's why I was asking if you guys are coming. So we'll see. No pressure, because like
Nifty Q, are you? Yeah, Q, are you going to NFT?
I have not finalized my trip details.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also like people that RSVP for past events, like they're gonna have to put a credit card down or something on the next time they fucking RSVP to my events, because when you don't fucking show up and like I'm inviting you to a speakeasy, like you're bye, like, because you just took someone else's place that really wanted to be there. So I'm just putting that out there too. Like, I'm not a nice person.
Clip that. Jacob, clip that.
I'm not here for the community, I'm here for my community. So my community are people that show up consistently and also take care of themselves, but communicate before they just run off. So I think like that's what I'm here for. I'm here for my community, and my community only. Sorry, fuck your community. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. This fucking heat, man, I'm telling you guys, is like
spicy. Extra spicy.
Easy. Yeah. We see you in the house saying OVOT, power out at home. So I had to head out to find the interwebs. We appreciate you going through all those hoops just to tune in here to NFT Live. YK TV, Mike Mongo, Sarah Script are all loving this conversation. You also have Nifty Kit spaces, it looks like, with Sarah today. Is this happening today?
Yeah, that's today. I'm super stoked to talk to Sarah. She's kind of like the dream interview because she's super prepared and she has a lot of work in her, what do they call oeuvre, the French word for your body of work. So
oeuvre.
I'm very oeuvre. Yes. So I know how to spell it. I just can't say it, which is the story of my life. I think that it's going to be a great space. Sarah is going to be unveiling a new drawing that she did, which is sick. And I've been lucky enough to see her as she works on it, the progress of her drawing. So nice. So we're going to be talking to her in about an hour from now on Twitter Spaces with Nifty Kit. See Nifty Kit? Actually, I should show you the back of this too. Can you see that?
I see it.
Oh yeah.
Nifty Kit win merch. We'll rock some stuff.
Yeah, like they gave me some really cool merch and I'm just like, I love this. Like we even fight over some of the shirts in the house. So that's a good thing. So yeah, Sarah, what did she say? I'm so happy. Oh, Nox Darkness. Yeah. they won a Mournbird during the XX Genathon, which is awesome. And I loved like during the giveaways that a lot of people walked away with art that they don't even own or couldn't buy at the time. So like that was really cool to like,
you were
when
giving
you're
away like mum bots and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah. Chris got a mum bot. You do feel like whatever the Jewish version of Santa Claus is, during those.
Wait,
aren't you supposed
to tell us who that is?
No, we don't. Our Santa Claus, I guess, is like mom and dad, because like, you for 8 days, we get 8 days of presents, right?
Always been jealous.
Really?
Of the 8 days? You get 8 days of presents.
Yeah, but see, the thing is like we get like money, so like that's, I'm not going to go there. Yeah, usually the last day, at least in my family, the last day you get a big envelope of cash. So like the gifts during the week are kind of like little things that like mom and dad know you need or want. And then a lot of, they call it gelt, but it's like the fake candy, like the little coins. So we get a lot of that and we're like, oh, okay, but then we know that envelope of cash is coming on day 8. So we're just like, woo!
This is culture.
That's liquidity for NFTs, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't time my buys.
Let's bring it back, land it on the XX Gen, because that's what's most important right now. Yes. And if you haven't gotten one, I minted 2 already, and I know a lot about this project because I've heard you speak about it a couple of times, so I know how deep it goes, how much work has gone into it. How would you, because you are a multidisciplinary artist with a large, exhaustive body of work. I mean, you've been an artist for your whole life, basically. How does XX Gen to you, if you were to kind of summarize what this represents in your oeuvre, your body of work? How would you? Yeah.
I think it's a nice amalgamation of where I am at right now, coming into the NFT space with work. So I experimented a lot with my film work, my still work in the space, and I've never had a large generative collection. So just a like brief overview, and I don't have the book in front of me, but when I published I Heart Girl some years back, with all of the subjects that I shoot, I do video portraits of them, black and white video, Polaroids. I take all different types of recording, I guess you would say, of my subjects. So pre-pandemic, I had all of these books from a bum run. I don't know I hope that word's not canceled, but it was like a bad run of the books that the publisher they ran the wrong version of the book. And so when they shipped those books to me, I had 150 of the wrong version. And once those came to my house, like, they had to rerun, and then I just put them in the basement. And then, like, as I say, the universe took care of it, because they got damaged in a mini flood that we had in the basement. I mean, there's nothing mini about floods, but it was a flood in the basement, wiped out half of them. And so I was like, I really want to hang on to these, but maybe I should get rid of them. But if I get rid of them, I have to destroy them. And it's like this whole thing. And then it's this process, like as artists, like, what's precious? Do we hang on to something? Is this a rare, like well before the NFT space? I'm like, are these rare because they're the alternate print of this, series? So I decided to hold on.
Yeah, the misprint. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's exactly what it is a misprint. Thank you. And so I held on to the misprints for a period of time. And then at a point, I decided to take a few up to my studio and unbind them and just kind of mess around with an X-Acto knife, because at that time I was thinking a lot about getting back into collage work and like getting back into painting, because my background is as a painter, a sculptor. I have a formal background in the arts and of the applied arts, I should say. So I was like, oh yeah, let me like try and do something cool with these books, because I hate things to go to waste, and why not kind of repurpose these books into something really beautiful. So I started to mess around and cut different pieces out and create these, different sort of compositions with the different subjects, and, just kind of combining the different, as we would call it now, traits of the subjects. And then I put it aside, and then the pandemic happened, and I was not creative at all during that period. I know a lot of people were super creative, and I was just more introspective and did not want to create, but I did find NFTs. So that's where, when I got into the NFT space, I felt like, oh, this is cool. There's so many people who don't know who I am in this space. This work that I've done my whole career can have a renaissance, or I call it a Jessissance, in this space. And I could, indoctrinate people into like my movement, what it is I do, my writing, my photography, my film work. So I spent like 2 years doing that, right? And then when I arrived back at the idea of the collage work, I was presented with a generator. So I'm like, oh my God, I don't have to hire studio assistants. I don't have to cut these out by hand. We can cut them out in Photoshop or whatever your respective program is, and add all these traits and create these ones that like I couldn't even do on my own. Like they created so many different cool combinations. And it's odd because as we were looking through and editing them down, because you can make like thousands of these, like it's insane. And I would often like feel like I saw myself in them, or like my partner saw themselves in the images sometimes. And so it was like this weird relationship to how we're attracted to faces. I mean, even look at like PFPs, right? It's like you want to see yourself. Oh yeah, shout out to the filter that this brilliant artist made for me. And you can download it on Instagram and pick somebody and be them. Which
That's
is
pretty wild.
Yeah, it is really cool, because there's something, and I said this at the beginning of Instagram, like way, way back. And I noticed that I would watch like friends and loved ones like scroll through an Instagram feed, and they would always stop on people's faces, because those will always be intrinsically captivating to look at someone else's face, just period. So
we're hardwired as human animals to identify and latch onto faces.
Yeah. And I think like in this case with XXGen, it's really cool to be able to re-envision all of the work that I've been doing, and kind of represent it as one image, because there's film stills in there, there's Polaroid clips in there, there are all of like the analog different types of mediums or different types of cameras I've used, like medium format, 35 millimeter, like it's, I don't think there's no large format in there, but Polaroids, Sony Handycam footage, like pretty much everything was included in this. So that's why I'm super proud of this project, and, would really like people to be interested in the project too and support it. I'm throwing in the kitchen sink with a lot of these things. I have 45 left in this project. And it's an OpenSea drop. It's a partnership drop. It was on the cover of OpenSea. I was spotlit during Women's History Month, because we get 1 month. So I know like this is really hard, you guys, because it's not March anymore. And like we have to wait another year, right, to put out projects. I'm just kidding. But I mean, I hope people will be interested in, entering the Jessica Yatrofsky ecosystem. You immediately get into 707, which is dope as fuck. And I would highly recommend that, because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on in the 707 space. And also you get the platinum key, which, I decided to release now just for the 555 holders, because so many people are buying like multiples or diamond enhancing. So I wanted to reward people that were into art, frankly. So one of us. So what's up? What else?
No, that was a great breakdown. I think even with some of the non-art collections that we cover on NFT Live, I think the question we always ask, and how we try to like look at the creation of whatever this founder is doing, is like, how do you mix like multiple different releases together and make sure like it doesn't get overly confusing or it fits well together. It doesn't feel like it's just kind of like lobbed in. So how do you think about that as you've released now, not just I Heart Girl, which I was a collector of, but XXGen and Room 707? How do you look at it all kind of working together?
I think just continuing to build, right? So like I'm an artist that's doxed, that has put, work out into the space. So I think like that's kind of where I came up with the concept of 707, very similarly to my New York Femme Factory collective, because we can get everyone under one roof in 707. And then I can keep track of everybody who wants to continue along my journey and like grab some pieces, not grab pieces, just be in conversation, in the community. So like say you're a 707 key holder, but you don't own any of my artwork. That's cool, because I have another thing for you guys to pull up there, the flyer. I saw it earlier. I'm doing this resident artist thing. It's like the flyer with the pink around it. Yeah, that. So I'm super excited to announce Gabe, Jimena, and Sarah are all going to be the first 3 artists. There's going to be 7 each year or each season. So like this, they're like the spring, summer. And I also have, speaking of outtakes and, wrong prints of books, one of the images from I Heart Girl is one of the first redeems in 707. So if you're in 707 now, you can still redeem it. If you get into 707 with the 555 key, you can still redeem it. And then Gabe is going to be the first piece that you can get, but you can only get it if you're a 707 holder. So
how do those work? So they're not free airdrops.
No,
they're just
you have to
exclusive.
physically take your little fingy and go and click the links and you have to grab it. And that's what also makes it special, right? Because like, that you're involved.
How are they priced though? Are they like cheap sort of open editions? Are they pretty expensively priced? Like because I mean, these are all amazing artists and it's really exciting, but I want to know how it works.
As many keys as exist. So there's 707. And then if you don't, there'll be like there's like right now, there's been a few months long window to get one of my pieces. So you have more than enough time to get in there and get it. And if you have a key, I would recommend, if you want another, like say you have 5 keys or 2 keys or something, because some people got a few so that they can gift them to other people. I would just move that key to another wallet. If you wanted 2 Gabe's, 2 of mine, 2 of Sarah, 2 of Men, and so forth. And then for the fall winter season, I'll be announcing the next artist, which I can't announce right now because it's all about their time in 707. So, but yeah, they are priced extremely low. And then because I work with Nifty Kit, we set the wallet for like, say you got a Gabe and you're like, I'm going to be a dickhead and put it on the secondary. Like, great. Like, go ahead and do that. But all of the money is going to go to Gabe. All of the money is going to go to Sarah because the wallet will be set that they get all secondaries. So, and the reason why I did it like this too is because I was thinking in a collective Web2 way where I onboarded a lot of artists that don't know anything about Web3, don't know anything about NFTs. And my whole motivation was like, well, I want to turn them on to cool art and cool artists. So I thought, well, let me get them into 707. So like a lot of my IRL friends are in 707, but don't really have NFTs, don't really know about the space. So then I'll just like text them or like hit them up and be like, hey, I got some, really cool art that you can go and redeem, or like you guys have redeemed the tickets when you attend the IRL events. And you just go pick those up. And then, so I'm hoping that for the most part, the people that are not knowing about Web3 or not knowing about NFTs, they go away with like a handful of amazing art from these artists. And that it's at, it costs next to nothing, right, for them to get this in their wallet. And then they can enjoy this art. So if someone's like, hey, do you have NFTs or whatever? Yeah, they'll pull up and they'll be like, wow, you have fucking Gabe Weiss, you have fucking Jimena, you have fucking Sarah Script. Like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, I got it here.
I really like it as your own sort of curation platform, right? It is like the Moonbirds Grails type of thing where you're creating an exclusive opportunity around a curated, I don't know, different artists. I think it's cool. You're basically creating your own curation platform and community, and I actually find that to be one of the most interesting things in this whole, this whole ecosystem, the Jessiverse or whatever you call it. But anyway, yeah, we are wrapping up this episode in just a couple minutes. Jess, is there any last things? I mean, obviously, everybody should go get an XX Gen if you haven't already. OpenSea almost minted out. And I think if we haven't dropped that link already, we should
I'll drop it one last time. Yep.
But it's on OpenSea.
90% yeah, like definitely grab one. And if you do, hit me up and I'm going to send you some more special goodies if you do so, because I'm very grateful and appreciative of everybody that's supported this project since its launch. And I would like to see it minted out, because I also would like to open up the collector's shop and get everybody into the Discord and plan for the rest of the year and get you guys all of the amazing redeems, and NFTs from these amazing artists that are coming up pretty soon, spring, summer 2023.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for the breakdown, Jessica. It's always great to have you on the show. We are going to wrap up, guys, and yes, the glasses, the touch. But we do have to get to NFT GO Bag Check really quick, and then any last closing thoughts, and we're out of here. I'm going to fly through the bag check today. So we have the barometer at 30, so we're feeling kind of cool about the NFT space. Blue chip index has been down for the last couple days here. I don't think Nakamigos is in the blue chip index yet, so the prices have been kind of fluctuating rapidly. Let's see. We've got the volume over the last 24. So last 24 hours, Wrapped CryptoPunks, Nakamigos. I feel like I've run out the quote on that name. Otherdeeds is sitting at 7%. Bored Ape Yacht Club, 5% of the market volume. Mutant Apes, Clonex, Pudgy Penguins, Iron Paw Gang, Azuki, and The Gods making its second appearance here on the top 10 in volume. Over the last 7, it's been Otherdeeds, Nakamigos, Bored Apes, Mutants. Heavy Metal is in there, as well as the Captains. And then the marketplace we won't touch on here today. But any last thoughts here on where we stand today, GIF? We do have to cut the episode a little bit short today, y'all. But this was a fantastic breakdown of the latest happening with Jess, and it's again great to have her here. Not robbing us though. I don't know if I'd like to be robbed for my seed phrase here. Oh, it's coming back on.
I'm just curious.
She's risking the sweat.
I'm just curious about Iron Paw Gang and what's going on here, because the floor price is at 0.8 ETH, and there's almost 4,000 of them. So and almost 60% owners. So whatever's going on with the Iron Paw Gang, this is the first time that we're picking up on it because of the NFT Go. But it looks like there's something going on over there, and maybe we'll jump more into that tomorrow. And if you know anything about Iron Paw Gang, drop it in the chat or tweet at us so we can dig in and learn more about what's going on there.
Yeah, Christian C said copped a few Iron Paws, so we do have some members here that are actually getting in there in the weeds on Iron Paws. So okay, that was I mean we did have that other side Gucci detail release that I would
let's
love
just
to
show
cover,
it. Just show it. Let's just go out with the visual. Just let them see it. Let it twinkle in their eyes as we head out into the sunset of the wild, wild Web 3. Look at that, Jess. You gonna get one of these for $2,000, $3,000, whatever it is at Bitcoin?
No, I'm gonna get a Gucci bag.
You're not getting a codependent?
You're not getting a codependent?
Beautiful.
Listen, I've had enough codependence in my life. I'm good.
Sheesh. All right, with that, folks, that was a great one-liner to take us out. So thank you so much for tuning in to NFT Live. We will be covering that other side release here tomorrow with Ronan the Collector. Gift is going to be traveling gallivanting across the U.S. into up north, our friends up north into Toronto. So have fun and have a safe trip up there. But thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave a like before you leave out of here. Again, we had the wonderful Jessica Yatrofsky on today. Thank you so much, Jess. I will let you two take us out. So either one of you will do the GM Web3 fight for it, but take us out. Thank you guys so much. Our vibe, our tribe.
Well, Jess gets the last word, so I'll just say our vibe, our tribe. Yes, no GM Web3 tomorrow because I will be traveling, but we will be back with GM Web3 on Thursday. And hey, good news, fam. NFTYQ and Ronan are going to be holding down the NFT live show tomorrow without me. So I will miss you, but I'll be back Thursday. And yeah, big love to Jess. And you get the last word, my friend.
Stay hydrated.